Hello everyone, and I'm following up with the Creativity Awakening series. It's me, Veronica. I'm going to talk today about the recovering of the feeling of protection and different dangers on the path of creativity awakening. For those who are seeing me for the first time, I did start this path myself um, of creativity awakening around 3 years ago when I moved to Dubai after my spiritual um, awakening, and I started painting. For me, art was also a tool for self-discovery, very beautiful and powerful one, and that's why I am also offering this program to others. So welcome, and today I will try to summarize those different aspects from Julia Cameron's book from week 10 originally in her book and share my experience of the issues that I used to have. Reporting from Bali, this peaceful and nice energy around. Hey, considering creativity as the divine energy flowing through us, when we allow it to flow freely, then we don't feel tired or pressured. But when we feel that there is some kind of new direction coming up, and I think that's what's happening with me today, we try to press the stop and kind of inner stop button and try to not lose the control, because it's kind of scary, it's like fully surrendering to the flow and allowing the creativity to take you where it leads you. It's kind of scary. So there are different ways to do that, and that's you can recognize which one is yours. People drink, or they use drugs, or they use food. That's one of my coping mechanisms to prevent myself from flowing freely in a way. Or overwork, which actually used to be also one of my big ones. Um, So being honest with ourselves in this situation gives us a chance to find our main distraction and kind of lose this. Same again. So yeah, it's normal to turn 180 degrees in a way, um, because we're anxious um, to the power of the source that has through us, and to the changes we're always are, or quite often are afraid of changes. That's like human nature. And for me to learn to be okay with this anxiety coming up when the change is coming, and nowadays I really feel it quite intensively, right? By doing a lot of emotional freedom, emotional alchemy throughout this almost now 4 years, helped me to um, get to my true self, but in the same way allow my accept my empathetic side, my emotional side. So I feel any kind of change quite intensively. So yes, workaholism, and actually you can check in the book. There is a good set of questions checking if you are workaholic. Like questions like how often you multitask, or how often you allow yourself to finish the assignment, or how often you prioritize work instead of your creative side, how often you delay enjoying and having fun until you finish your work. Yes, and nowadays workaholism is kind of accepted in the society like a norm. If you say, when you're supposed to have a meeting with your friends, but you say like I'm busy or I have work or I'm busy at work, it's like okay, that's a good excuse. But check yourself how many times a week you spend just for pure fun, or just like pure fun without even considering, oh, I have fun and it, gives me something back. So many people, when stuck, are avoiding fun because that's when you actually are followed into the creativity. And it's like Cinderella effect. You end up staying home doing the boring work instead of actually going to the ball. So workaholism for workaholic is synonym for importance. When we try setting the limit for how long we are actually working, and I know this from my transition when I had to really like close the computer, even though I really wanted to work more, more, more. That happened after writing the PhD. And it's like force myself to go out and work less hours than I used to, like having 12 hours a day. And that was really like a hard work change process. And I remember when I moved to Dubai, it was like, oh, everyone works so hard here, and I was learning the opposite, and I proved that this is possible. And I proved to myself, I saw for myself that working actually less, but working, my quality of work became much, much higher. It was a different way. I still could handle everything I wanted to do, but in less time. So that uh, that part I think I definitely kicked out of my way. And in every creative path, you have the droughts, the period when you don't feel anything, when everything seems meaningless. That's also totally fine. I'm feeling this day to day actually. And it's like not fighting it, accepting. It has an end, just like everything else. So keep connecting to your intuition and keep moving. Um, Julia's suggestion is to keep working on the pages, on writing down. Um, I added a lot of energy work recently to that practice. So even if I don't feel it, I'll do my usual um, filling myself with energy. And yeah, if you're interested more, it's quite powerful techniques. I will be teaching them in my upcoming um, emotional alchemy inner child healing course. So definitely DM if you're interested how to transform your life with fun and ease. Um, one more one more thing that can stand on the way is fame, and I also can relate to that. It's like experiencing or doing something to be recognized and be accepted. So when we write or act or do anything creative, not for the sake of the process, but for the sake of getting famous and kind of claim ourselves, which has also very positive outcome. For me, it was speaking the truth part, um, and kind of speaking and expressing my own truth. But like with everything, right? With any of those things that I mentioned, food, work, it's all good in balance. So be gentle with yourself when you think about the fame. You can actually send the card to yourself, saying how great you are. And the biggest win is when you actually go and start your creative process, right? Then you have this worry how others think about you to disappear. So another spiritual drug is competition, or trying to compare yourself to other people, how they are doing. So the switch here is not like, oh, he already is there and I'm here, but comparing yourself and to the processes you were going through before. Let's say, how did I practice today? Did I send info about my work? Did I post on social media if that's the part of your work? Did I become more visible and things like that? So competition is actually considered as a turn, this 180 degrees turn, for many, uh, or the root of that creative turn. Um, So this kind of approach is good for the critics. They can check what is famous today, what's like on. For the creatives, they gotta follow the inner light. And I know for me it's quite hard if you have this analytical kind of mind and you understand what I'm talking about. But it's basically the ego's attempt to make you feel important and big, and kind of get out of the light. So the key here is to remain authentic and be true to that, not allow the ego mind to force to take any other ideas that are not yours, that are not coming from your inner truth, right? So I think I talked about it last week, taking whatever is coming, um, from the other sources, right? If you research how to do marketing, how to do sales, how to, write this and that, yes, the structure can be used good in a very good way for yourself. But the issue here is to always check with yourself, with your authentic self, with your intuition or higher power, higher self, whatever you call it. How does it feel in my body? If I'm gonna do that, does it feel expansive? Does it feel right or not? So creativity needs time and loving acceptance to become alive, and acceptance of those clumsy steps that we might do on the way to get where we want to get. So again, releasing the ego desire to be perfect at any step, and instead approve oneself and actually have this win when you just actually do what you love, no matter what. And some nice exercises for you. I like this one. Do the telling the truth exercise. Like, be honest with yourself. Why can I cannot I start, let's say, drumming in my garage? What is the benefit for me? Why cannot I finish that poem I've been working on? Why don't I want to do the painting that I've been thinking about for a long time, or cook that dish? Um, so try to honestly, in writing, answer to yourself. And don't forget to celebrate your wins. Any kind of win, any kind of step, just um, make something nice for you when you do something small that is different from the way you did before. And spoil yourself. Try to be nice to yourself. You're your best friend, right? And the one with whom you have the relationship your whole life. So stop that inner critic and just start loving yourself more and more. And if you want support in the process, again, I want to say a little bit more words about the upcoming course. Um, it's very interesting how I got the download of the whole um, program, of the whole schedule, and we're going to look into our purpose, work with intuition, with energy practices to 3 hour true selves, release the emotional blockages and limiting beliefs so that we can become the truest version of ourselves. So please DM me if you have any question about that. It's gonna be epic. My move to Bali just brought so much more into that course, and I'm so excited to share this with you. Just um, have this juiciness for you to experience. And it's a 6 week course, so it's gonna be pretty easy in terms of timing, but pretty transformational. See you next time.